Hello everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Marima Forbes, and you are tapped into Living in Between Sierra Leone and the UK. So this is my regular live sessions. Every single Sunday I come live on YouTube at 9 p.m. GMT, I believe 1 p.m. American time. And today we're going to be talking about how me moving to Sierra Leone changed my mindset, my perspective, my life in terms of, now that I've moved back to the UK. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Just want to say hello to everyone. I hope you're all okay. I hope you've all have had a good week. My week this week has been a little bit up and down because I had COVID, but I'm now COVID free, thankfully. So I'm back to my normal self again. I'm looking forward to finally going outside again, because sitting at home all day is not exactly the best thing ever. But I'm really excited about this live, and I'm really excited to interact with you all. As always, my lives are always interactive. It's always an opportunity for you to go ahead and ask me questions about anything that I'm talking about. And it's also an opportunity for you as well to, talk amongst each other as well, or ask me any questions of anything you may not know. So that's really what it is, really. I've got my phone with me today. So I'm going to be, if you see me glancing down, it's because I'm looking at my phone, because I've got notes. Because being that this is quite a large topic, I definitely want to make sure that I talk about everything and I don't miss anything. Hello. If you're here, please wave and say hello. Let me just write a comment that says here. As always, if you have any questions, just write it here. Just write something here. It's always interactive. Because I'm using a third party, I can't actually see who is on the live. I have to go on my phone to actually see that. So if you see me glancing, I apologize. It's because I'm looking to see. Okay. If you're here again, say hello, so I just know that you're here. As I mentioned, I'll be talking about how living in Sierra Leone, changed my perspective, my mindset, and so on. I've written some notes on my phone, so I'll be glancing on that for a while. Hi, Ian. Thank you. Welcome back. Good to have you. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because since I've been back, a lot of people have been asking me questions like, oh, you seem a bit different, Mariama. You seem a bit more calmer, Is this how it's like when you go to Africa? Is this the type of effect it's gonna have on you? So many people have been asking me so many questions about that, like, me being back, and I didn't really have to say anything to people. I think those that know me just kind of saw changes in me. And thankfully, they're all positive changes, which is good. I haven't had any negative changes or any alarm bells running or anything like that, which is good. So I'm gonna break down, in terms of how things or my perspective has changed. So I'm going to be talking about health, my mindset, obviously, aspirations, culture, relationships, and faith. So in those areas, I'm going to be talking about how it's changed my mindset before and after I went to Africa, and so on. And if you're in this live as well, do make yourself comfortable, get yourself a cup of tea, a snack. I always have a drink with me over here because we like it to be interactive. Okay. So I think I'm going to start off first with mindset, because mindset is one of the title of this conversation. Let's go into it. So prior to going to Sierra Leone, I've mentioned in most of my videos, one of the driving forces that made me even go to Sierra Leone is because it was COVID time, and like many people, I was mentally affected by it, just sitting at home all day, staring at the same people, my family, who I love, but after a while, just seeing them all the time, it gets a bit frustrating, you know what I mean? Not being able to do my day-to-day, all of us were stuck in lockdown, and it affected many people differently. For me, it just kind of increased my anxiety. It just kind of made me go down. It just kind of made me just not the happiest person in the world. So when I went to Sierra Leone, and it was a completely different perspective, because here in the UK, everybody was down. You know, people were trying to figure out, find different ways to make themselves happy. But then when I went to Sierra Leone, it was a completely different world. It was as if COVID wasn't even there. Everybody was happy, jolly. And I was thinking to myself, like, wait. Okay, I've just left a country where it's like progressive, got all these things going on. I've now gone to Sierra Leone, which is a country that, you know, for many people, you know, economically is one of the poorest countries in the world. So from what I'd read prior to going, is that people in Africa were suffering or going through all these things. Same my mindset when I was going, I was kind of thinking everybody was going to be in that mindset. But when I went to Sierra Leone, people were happy, they were joyful, and so on. And I think within 2 days of me being in Sierra Leone, my whole vibe had changed. I've gone from having negative thoughts to smiling, being happy. Maybe it also had to do with the sun as well, I have to say. You know, the sun was shining constantly. So definitely the atmosphere in terms of the sun and everything else. But just to be more particular in terms of my mindset. So generally, I'm a person, I am patient, but I'm not the most patient person in the world. If you've ever been to Australia or any African country, you'll know that things tend to move a bit slowly. Time management is not the best thing in the world. So I definitely learned to be more patient when I was in Sierra Leone. I learned to just sometimes not control the outcome of things, just let things happen naturally. I'll definitely see that's one of the first things I learned going into Sierra Leone, just to be more patient. And the second thing I'll definitely say that happened when I was in Sierra Leone is I became more humbled. Yes. And the reason why I said became more humbled is because you just see people that have nothing, yet every single day they're excited to live on. They have nothing, yet they're so proud of the little that they have, and they speak so positively of the little that they have. And that kind of humbled me a little bit more. It kind of made me reflect and look at myself and be like, you have quite a lot, but sometimes you always want more. Do you know what I mean? So definitely being there definitely humbled me, definitely made me want to definitely made me appreciate more of what I have. And also, rather than always looking at what I don't have, but to really just look at what I have and really just embrace all the things I have and really just appreciate it, really. Definitely that's what I would say in terms of mindset as well. There's quite a few things I would say about mindset as well, but if you've been to Africa and you are in this live, whether it's Sierra Leone or any other African country, and you felt like when you visit there was a mindset change, please do write it in the comments so I can kind of see what changes it made for you, and then we can interact as well. Okay, all right, so the next thing is to do with my health. So naturally I am somebody who I've been very much, I would say, a herbalist. Somebody who is a believer in just natural medicine. However, I was somebody that really didn't realize that not being in the sun all the time as a melanated woman actually affects us, because naturally we're meant to be in the sun. And also, I didn't realize how much air pollution, how much toxins and chemicals I was putting in my body because of the food and all these different things. And when I went to Sierra Leone and I'm now eating organic food every single day, the sun is beaming, so I'm getting my vitamin D. I kind of realized how much change it had on me, on my skin. My skin was glowing more. You know, they always talk about when you go to Africa, you get like a glow. I definitely noticed as well that I had much more energy than usual, because I suffer with fatigue. And when I was over there, I had no fatigue. I had so much energy. And also, I just learned about doing the small things like walking, you know, and not necessarily depending on a car or public transport all the time, but just going for walks, you know, smelling the fresh air and being with nature and all these different kind of things. Like, just those little tiny things really made a difference. So when I came back to the UK, I became a more health conscious, like going to the gym more, Also having lots of fruits, going out of my way to find where I can purchase organic fruits. That's one of the things I definitely wanted to make sure that I did more often. And also, as I've said in some of my videos, for some of you who have watched my videos, is that I tend to make my own creams. I make my own hair products. And this is something I've been doing since I was like 14. So nothing has really changed. But I feel like I've doubled on that more, on making sure that I use organic products, making sure that I'm aware of what goes into my body, how it's going to affect me, and sometimes not having a dependency on medication. I think for so many of us, like as soon as we have a headache, we just think it's, let's just draw for the paracetamol. And sometimes that's not the case. You might just need to drink water. Maybe you're just dehydrated. So seeing like how the locals, the way how they kind of depend more on nature to heal themselves rather than science, kind of opened my eyes a bit more that this is second nature. This is kind of something that my ancestors do. They don't really depend too much on science, even though you should, because science is what kind of keeps us going in terms of medication, surgery, and all these different kind of things. However, there's little things you can do to help your body as well. I see some comments here. Regina Renee said, the biggest change for me was seeing Black people everywhere and definitely improved my mood. Oh my gosh, yes, that is actually one of the things I was going to say, but I forgot. I'm so happy that you mentioned that. It's so true. It's so refreshing seeing your people everywhere you go. It's so refreshing. I never realized how much I had some of my anxiety came from the fact that sometimes I didn't feel like I was represented. I didn't feel like I could be my whole self every single day. Like when I would go into work, I always feel like I have to be a bit more conservative, a bit more less black, or whatever people's definition of being black is. But when I went to Sierra Leone, it's like I didn't have to worry if I'm gonna have a racist attack or somebody's gonna marginalize me because of the color of my skin. I didn't have to and I didn't have that extra worry. I could just be my true authentic self 24/7 because everybody around me was black. And also beautiful was everybody spoke my language and I was no longer, the minority anymore. You know what I mean? And that is one of the biggest things. I think probably every person that has visited Africa, that's one of the things they all say. They just say, going back home, definitely seeing your own people all the time makes you feel much more happier. Not saying you don't want to be around other races, but because you live in a country when you are the minority, sometimes you can't always be yourself. You kind of always have to be looking behind your back kind of a thing because you don't know what's going to happen. Racist people do exist in the UK and everywhere in the world as well. Ian says UK people are too materialistic. That's why they are not happy. Oh my gosh, that is definitely a great point that you said, Ian. It's so true. That so much focus is placed on what you have rather than focusing on what makes you truly happy. I think one of the things that I truly appreciated about being in Sierra Leone is the community. And I feel like community is so lacking in the Western world. It's crazy. It's kind of like I don't even know my neighbors. I'll be honest with you. Like I don't know my neighbors. My neighbors probably don't even know me. We've walked past each other so many times. Nobody says anything because that's kind of like the culture. But in Sierra Leone, it's so beautiful how everybody knows each other. Like as soon as you leave your house, if your neighbor sees you, they'll be so quick to greet you, and so on. They'll invite you over to eat when they've cooked. There's just so much community. Like you're never lonely. Like I remember there are times in the UK I'd feel so lonely sometimes because it's like you kind of have to reach out to people in order in order to like see people. Whereas in Sierra Leone, it's kind of like everywhere you go, somebody's going to talk to you. Walking in the street, somebody will greet you. They'll say hello. If they see your head is down, somebody will randomly just be like, hey, why is your head down? what's going on? Are you okay? Is everything okay? They'll start talking to you. There's just community everywhere. And I don't know about other African countries, but for Sierra Leone, it's one of the countries where it has the happiest people, the most embracive of people that just embrace, they just embrace everybody. They're just loving, they're just kind. And and here in the UK, I think there's just so much fear. There's like that fear factor. It's like everybody's a bit, they're afraid to embrace other people. They're afraid to let people in. Whereas when I'm in Sierra Leone, like I don't think I ever felt lonely my 6 months of being there. If anything, sometimes I kind of felt like my personal space was being invaded quite a lot, because if you're coming from somewhere where you're used to constantly having your own personal space, and then you have all these people who are constantly in your space, you kind of feel like but after a while you get used to, you kind of realize that this is how it's supposed to be. We are all supposed to be part of a community. We're all supposed to lean on each other, support each other, and so on. Sorry, guys. But yeah, thank you so much, Ian, for mentioning that. I agree with you. I agree with that so much. Ian also says fresh fruit and food always makes me feel better. Too many additives in the UK food. 100% agree with you. There is so much additives, and I think you don't realize how much these additives actually affect you until you actually go into Africa, where all the food is organic. That's when you start to realize how much strain you be placing in your body, having all these chemicals. There's no fast food in Sierra Leone, thankfully. Like a lot of people say, oh, I want to go, I wish there was McDonald's, there was this, there was, I'm like, I'm so grateful it's not there, I'll be honest with you, because I don't feel like it's necessary for us to have it. It's I feel like it's not every capitalist system we need. I mean, sorry, not capitalist system. It's not every structure that needs to be placed into Africa. I think sometimes we can let certain things go. But yeah, if you're joining, thank you for joining. And if you're new here, please do click on the subscribe button and interact. Place all your questions here. Any questions you have or anything I say, if you have a response to it, just write it down in the comment section. Yes. So where was I? I think I was talking about mindset. Yeah, mindset. Yeah. And I can't remember which section I was on. I can't remember which section I was on when it comes to mindset. What was the last thing I said? Can anybody remind me? What was the last thing I said? Oh no, I've lost it. Oh yes, mindset. Okay. Another thing about mindset I'll also say as well is that I really got a greater understanding of who I am as a person, like my identity as a Black woman and so on. So for some of you who may not know, my family and I, we fled Sierra Leone because of the civil war. So I came here when I was 7 years old to the UK. So coming to the UK, I never knew I was Black. I never knew there was such a thing as being Black. I just saw myself as a human being, because I think when everybody around you is Black as a child, or everybody looks like you don't see color, if you know what I mean. So I didn't quite see color. So when I came to the UK, it was kind of like I suffered with an identity crisis for a long time, because it was like, I'm Black. I went through so much racism because I lived in like one of the proper outskirts of the UK. If anybody is being like where Middlesbrough is, like that kind of area is where I used to live. Before I moved to a bit more cultural, mixed culture era, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think I suffered a lot with identity crisis, kind of like, what does it mean to be Black, which is one. What does it mean to be Sierra Leonean? What does it mean to be African? There was just, and also at the same time, the images I used to see of people that look like me did not interpret in terms of what I was experiencing at home. Because at home, my mom taught me how to cook my traditional food. She taught me about my culture, about who I am as a Sierra Leonean. But then when I was to leave my house, it was kind of a different experience, if you know what I mean. It was kind of like I had to dull down my blackness in order to survive. I had to kind of see images of Black people that didn't kind of remind me of the Africa that I knew, you know what I mean? So for a long time I used to kind of have like I think a lot of immigrants and a lot of people who immigrated to the West, you know, I think a lot of us kind of tend to have that, you know, where and also how we see ourselves as Black people. Do you know what I mean? Like you, and our perception of Africa. You know, if you've never been, you just think, you know, everybody lives in mud houses and walks around barefoot and gets bitten by flies all day and they live next to lions. You know, I've actually had people tell me that. Funny enough, let me just say this real quickly. I've actually had people message me. I had somebody actually message me once and said, I never knew there were hotels in Sierra Leone, there were roads in Sierra Leone, there were houses in Sierra Leone. I only found out when I watched your videos. And I was thankful for the person's transparency. And I was also grateful that my video was able to educate them because like they were brave enough to come and tell me that my videos had impacted their viewpoint or their perception of Africa. But then I think to myself, there's so many people out there who still have that perception of Africa, who still think we all live in mud houses and walk around barefoot and get bitten by flies and we have lions as our best friends. Sometimes sometimes you just have to laugh at it. You just have to. But yeah, going back to Africa, it kind of it kind of puts you in a position where you become so proud of your Blackness. You become so proud of being African. You become so proud of everything that you are. Like you go from walking around with your head down, being confused about who you are. But the moment you step your foot in Africa, you walk around with just confidence, with your head up. You're just proud because you realize you come from a dynasty. Like you come from a continent. A continent that has so much wealth, so much. I can't even describe it. Like I no longer walk around feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm Black and some Western people hate me because of the color of my skin. I walk around now just feeling like I'm so proud to be Black. Like I come from a continent that is rich in culture, rich in wealth, rich in community, rich in just history and wealth. And yeah, like it just makes me, you know, I just have a little bit more of a little, you know, a little bit of a, you know, what can I say, a little bit more of a, I don't know, a little bit something to me. I'm just much more happier and just nobody can tell me anything about my country because I know what it is for myself because I've experienced it. And I think that is why I say to so many people, mostly young people, is whether you're born in the West or not, go back home. Go back home. Because you cannot depend on what you're seeing on TV. You cannot depend on what you are reading as an understanding of who you are. You have to find out who you are by experiencing Africa yourself. And that's what it did for me. Because no matter how educated you are, no matter if you were born in the West or not, when they see you, you're Black and you're African. They're not thinking, oh, this person is from Nigeria, this person from this. No, you're just Black. That's just who you are. You're just Black. And when you go back home, you don't just see yourself as Black. You really see yourself as a king. You really see yourself as a queen. You really see yourself as we are the most blessed nation, and that's period. And it makes me feel happy every day. Hello everybody. There's quite a few people that's joined here, and there's so many comments that's here. Hi David, thank you for joining. Tommy, thank you for joining. Definitely seeing a few new faces here. All right, let's see some of the comments that people are saying. So Regina Renee says, thank you. I appreciate your videos. I plan to visit Sierra Leone this year and actually move in the near future. I'm really curious about libraries, bookstores, museums in Sierra Leone. Wow, congratulations on taking that step for you to move to Sierra Leone in a new future. And I feel like you are taking a really great step where you're taking it in steps, and you are you are moving to Sierra Leone gradually, which is what I'm doing as well. So you are in the right channel, because I'll be sharing more about how you can live in between, how you can live both abroad and you can actually live in Africa as well. And I hope that you can check my previous videos on, you know, being in Sierra Leone, the type of things that are available. But I never actually thought about talking about libraries and museums and all that type of stuff that are in Sierra Leone, because they're all there. So you've given me some content idea, and I'll actually go ahead and actually do a video on that as well. And if you'd like that, please do comment and let me know, and I'll do a video like that for you. Thank you so much. Okay. Tommy, hi Tommy. Tommy says, well, someone thought there were no roads in Sierra Leone and houses. Damn, imagine the amount of people out there with that mindset. Yes, that is the mindset. And I don't think I've actually ever told this story here, but I think I'll tell the story very shortly. I'll say it very quickly. So one of the things, and there were two things that inspired me to start doing YouTube, right? One of the things that inspired me to do YouTube is because I wanted to create content where I can kind of show people that luxury exists in Sierra Leone. You can have a tourist experience in Sierra Leone. That's why you see the large amount of my videos are about going to resorts, hotels, and all these different kind of things. And the reason I wanted to focus on that is because as a young person, I travel quite a lot. And when I travel, I'm always staying in resorts, hotels. And I knew quite a lot of my friends when they were visiting Sierra Leone, they never stayed in hotels or resorts. They just kind of stayed at their family homes. And I feel like you don't get the full experience of a country if you just stay in one place. And most of the time when they stay with their parents or their family members, they're not really doing anything. They just sit at home or go to uncle and auntie's parties, and that's kind of their holiday. They don't kind of do the things that they would do if they would go to Ibiza, Dubai, or America or anything like that. So I wanted to show that. But one of the second reason why I actually wanted to do YouTube, listen closely everybody to this, okay? It was 2019. I visited Sierra Leone, and I came back from Sierra Leone, and I took these lovely pictures of me in the beach with my family, going to restaurants and all these different places. And I showed it to my colleague who was Caucasian. I said, look at these pictures of me in Sierra Leone. And she just kept on staring at the camera. And the way she was staring at my phone, was a bit more different. She was just staring at it like, almost like, is this real? Is these pictures real? And I was looking at her. She was looking at me. And I was thinking, she's not saying anything. Why is she looking at my phone so weirdly? Only for her to turn around and say to me, she goes, Mariama, is this picture photoshopped? And I said, what do you mean? She's like, this is not real. I was like, what do you mean it's not real? And then she goes, that's not how Sierra Leone looks like. I've seen images of it when Sierra Leone had Ebola and the Civil War. They've got huts and all the places blown up. That's not how Sierra Leone looks like. Then I turned around to her and I said, that is Sierra Leone that I went to. This is a real picture. And she goes, I don't think it's real, Mariama. Like, be honest with me. Did you Photoshop it? And I was like, and then I showed her a video of me walking by the sea and all that stuff. And she goes, I still don't think it's Sierra Leone, Mariama. I don't know, because all the images I've seen, it doesn't look like it's Sierra Leone. And that I remember that having that, her response bothered me so much. And I remember coming home and saying it to my mom, and I was so upset. And my mom was like, why are you feeling upset for? Like, it's okay. There's lots of people out there who don't have knowledge of how Africans, like, they base their knowledge based on charities, what the charity, those charities, they're always showing some sick child with fly going around them in some in some village somewhere, you know what I'm trying to say. And I remember saying that, and then I turn around to my mom. I goes, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, and I'm just gonna show people that you can have a tourist experience in Sierra Leone, and that's just what I'm gonna focus on. So those were the two driving factors that made me start doing YouTube. But yeah, that is what she told me. And I remember when I did my first video, and I think my first video was what really happened in Sierra Leone or something like that. I can't remember what it was. She actually sent me a message on Instagram, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for doubting you when you showed me those videos a couple of years ago, but your country is beautiful, and I'm really happy that you're showcasing it in that way." But honestly, guys, 2002 that sorry 2022, there's still people out there that have that mindset. There's still people out there. Regina said, "Sleep next to lions." Yes, they sometimes they think we sleep next to lions. I'll be cracking myself up. So listen, I wish I can just. Oh, actually, I think I might do a video one day of me just reading my DMs of all the things people send me without saying their names. Obviously, we're not shaming the people. We're just gonna be just kind of to see how in 2022 people still have this mindset about Africa. Regina said, "Spending time in Botswana taught me that it truly is to live in a community." Yes, I'm telling you. Once you experience being a part of a community, you'll see why God intended for us to be in a community, and why he created family, and why he wanted us to have connections and all these different things and so on. Ian said, "Thank you, Ian. The Peace Museum in Freetown is very good." Oh, wow. Okay, Ian. If you don't mind, Ian, we can do live one day when you can talk about the museums, because I actually haven't been to a museum in Sierra Leone. If anybody here has experienced museums, libraries, or bookstores, and you'd want to come on live with me one day so we can just go through it in terms of how it's like and accessibility and so on, please let me know. Tommy said, "Wow, I could have lost my cool at that point." Yes. I didn't lose my cool, and the reason why I didn't lose my cool is because, number one, I'm in a corporate setting. I don't want to do anything that's going to cost me to lose my job, because I was the only Black person at that company at that time. So yeah, all I can do is educate, or just leave people alone if I feel like there's no way for me to educate them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But yes, so thank you guys. So yeah, what was I talking about now? Here I go for skipping my thoughts again. Yeah, mindset. We're still on mindset. Hi to the young Sierra Leoneans. Thank you for joining. Oh, guys, I also forgot to say thank you all so much. I'm officially on 1,000 and something subscribers. Thank you, guys. Keep subscribing. Keep sharing my videos. I forgot to say that. Thank you guys so much. Mindset. Okay, back to mindset again. So I said I talk about patience, self-awareness, being more humble, and a sense of feeling proud. And I think and then I think that will go perfectly to aspirations. So another thing I would say, going to Sierra Leone, it definitely changed my aspirations in life. I think when you go there, it makes you do a lot of soul searching. It makes you sit down with yourself and really ask yourself, what is important to you in this world? It makes you ask yourself why you're doing certain things that you're doing. Like, what's the driving force for you to do the things that you're doing? Like, for somebody like me, because I'm an immigrant, I am still, wait, hold on. As an immigrant, for me to be successful was the end goal. Like, I had to go to uni, I had to get my master's, I had to get a corporate job, I had to do all those things because I believed the opportunity that was given to me, I had to do everything that I can do to make sure that I live a life where I can be proud of, my family can be proud of, and I can be able to do, like, I can be able to take care of my family that are back home, and also do something for a specific community in my country, or something like that. So my goal I don't think I ever took time to really question, do these things make me happy? It was just go, 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 go. It was like, I remember, like, my friends, they all did, they were thinking about, oh, this job doesn't make me happy, I don't really think I want to do it. And I used to look at them and be like, you're looking for happiness in a job? Like, I thought you just do it to make money so you can live the life you want to do. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And going to Sierra Leone literally made me realize that the most important thing to me, and the most important thing that I should be aspiring for, is pure happiness. Because one of the reasons why I was suffering with anxiety for so many years in my life is because I truly wasn't happy with where I was going in my life, because I was just doing things for the sake of just doing things. And when I went to Africa and I saw people had nothing, like there were some places I went to where people were living in the most extreme conditions you can think of, yet they were so happy. And I looked at myself and I said, I have so much, but where's my happiness? Because as soon as I buy the latest iPhone, I enjoy it for a little while. Then a new one comes, and all of a sudden, I don't want that one in mind. I need that new one. If I don't have that new one, I'm not happy. And seeing how people were just happy, like this, like literally, that you can give somebody bread and they're so happy, and I used to just sit there sometimes in awe, like completely in awe, just looking at people like they're so happy. I like in envy. I want that happiness that's not attached to what you have, what you don't have, what society's expectations were. They was just happy. And being there for 6 months made me reevaluate my whole life, and made me realize that, yes, to be successful, to acquire things, it's great. It's great for your ego. It affords you luxury items. It positions you in society. You can be part of a social class, or whichever it may be. But that's not what life is. So coming back from Sierra Leone, I did everything I can to be closer to my family, to my friends. I completely decided to change the career I was in, and kind of just go back and just kind of figure out, okay, where do I see myself in the next 10 years, and what can I do that doesn't just pay the bills but makes me happy. Do you know what I mean? And what are the things that makes me happy? And so now it's all about family. Like, I love spending time with my grandmother who lives with us, spending time with my mom, my sister. And family to me is everything now. Like, before, I used to like not make that much time. I'd be out doing this, doing that. But now it's like I enjoy being at home. I Every single moment I'm in awe. Like, before, I never really took time to just see the beauty in just watching TV, listening to my grandmother tell me stories about 1939, about what happened in with her friends and all this stuff that happened in Sierra Leone. Now when she's talking, I'm literally like this, guys. I'm like staring at her like this when she's talking, in complete awe and in complete appreciation that my grandmother is still alive, and she's passing on so much culture, history onto me that I can pass on to my kids. So definitely, like, it changes your perspective, makes you realize all these things mean nothing. Like, it's beautiful, and you should aspire to be the best version of yourself, but that should not be why you're living in life. That's what I found. That's not why God brought us in this world. God actually gave us everything, but then we decided to put labels on things. We decided to put price on things, and the core for me, being a human, is family. Family to me is everything. Community to me is everything. And that's why I think I'm so proud when it comes to creating content about Sierra Leone. I'm so proud about talking about what I've learned, what I haven't learned, because that's the core, really. But yeah, definitely write in the comment section, what's your aspirations in life? What are the things that keep you going as a human being every single day to continue choosing life? Let me know in the comment section, please. It'll be really good to see. Maybe there's something I haven't considered that could inspire me today. So yes, so now moving on to the South, spoke about health. If you've missed that, you can rewatch this live again. I've spoken about mindset, how going to Sierra Leone has changed my mindset. I've spoken about how it's changed my aspirations in life. So now I'm going to talk about culture. Before I go into culture, I'm just going to have a drink, please. This is live, so I can't edit things out, but I'm thirsty. If you're watching this and you're having any snacks, let me know what snack you're having. Okay, culture. Like prior to going into salon, I just had identified myself as Sierra Leonean. I never really took time to search into my tribe. So I am Madingo. I never really tried to understand what that means. What's the meaning of a tribe? What's the importance of culture? I kind of just saw myself as I'm Sierra Leonean, and that's really it. And going into Sierra Leone and seeing how everybody is like, they don't even say they're Sierra Leone, they just say I'm Mende, I'm Timini, I'm this, I'm that. That's kind of like how everybody works. And also, Regina Renee says she's having popcorn. Oh, I could do with some popcorn right now. I love popcorn, one of my favorite snacks to have. But yeah, as I was saying, it's like just seeing how everybody introduces themselves. And as soon as people saw me, it was so weird. I didn't have to say anything. They'll be like, oh, you're Madingo. And I'm just like, how do you know? And they're looking at me like, I can just tell by your face, the way your body is structured. And I'm just like, that is so cool. Just, like I used to, and then I'll ask them like, how, like, tell me, how do I differentiate someone that is Madingo to somebody that is Timini, Mende, Loko? Tell me how. And they'll just say to me like, they'll tell me, they'll be like, oh, we're really sorry, you haven't lived here long enough, like we can't really explain to you, how that is, but we because we've lived there for so long, we can tell. And I found that to be so amazing, that they were so, even the smallest of child was so ingrained in their culture, their tribes, and the meaning of their tribes and why it was important and so on. And I always looked at that and thought, wow, I wished I knew that. I wish I knew more about my culture, a bit more about the tribe that my family comes from, and all these different kinds of things. Ian says, since visiting Salon for the first time 12 years ago, my aspiration is to retire there. Oh, that's amazing. I'm telling you, when you go to Sierra Leone, regardless of who you are, what country you come from, you just want to stay there. It's so peaceful. I miss that every single day, and I can't wait to get to go back soon. Like I said, once I find myself an expat job, I am back to Salon. But for now, I'm still searching. I'm still looking. But yeah, definitely just seeing that, it made me want to start researching more into the tribe that I'm from, to really understand what does it mean to be a Madingo woman, or Madinka woman, as it's actually properly pronounced. And where are my roots from? So when I came back from Sierra Leone, I spoke to my grandma. I was like, tell me a little bit more about our family tree, and what about Madingo people, all these different things. And my grandma was like, oh, well, your grandfather actually comes from Guinea, and he came from Guinea, and then he married me. And then it's like, your dad is actually he although he was born in Sierra Leone, he's actually Guinean. And then he's like, yeah, and you're more Ghanaian than you are Sierra Leonean. I'm just like, oh wow, that's something new. So I started researching into Guinea and the Guinea people and the Madinka people, and I started looking online of images of how Madinka people look like, and they look like me. They have features just like me, you know, smaller nose, small lips, you know, big eyes. Their necks are a bit cut, you know what I mean? And it was so beautiful to see people that look just like you. And I started learning about their cultures, the way that they do things, and it was just really nice. It just really made me want to know so much more about myself and my identity and my culture, not just for me, but because I plan on having children. I want to pass these things on to my kids, regardless of who I marry, whether he's Chinese, Korean, Sierra Leonean, whatever he is. I need to make sure I have a thorough understanding of my culture so I can make sure I pass that on as well. Um, um, Ian says he's also having popcorn, toffee popcorn. So everybody's having popcorn and watching this live. Okay, next time I'm bringing my popcorn as well. Ian says, good luck with the job search. Thank you so much. But yeah, definitely. Like I've been having lots of conversations, even on Clubhouse. I've joined like the Guinea Club. I'm trying to make friends with people from Guinea because I actually want to go and visit them. My grandma told me how we have like lands and all these different type of stuff, and how my family's really big in Guinea. And I'm just like, wow, you know this information and you didn't think to share it with me. I think, look, to be honest, she did share it with me. I just didn't take it in. You know what I mean? I was quite passive about the things she was telling me. But yeah, so now I'm a bit more intentional about knowing about not just about being a Sierra Leonean, but about my tribe, about my culture, and what it means, and who I am as a Madinka woman, and all these different type of things. So definitely, that's something I would say that being in Sierra Leone made me want to know more about where I was from as well. And funny enough, like some of the men, like they date you based on your tribe. So they will look at you and be like, oh, you're a Madinka woman, or this is how you guys are like, this is how you guys are not. Oof, I can or I cannot date you. Literally, they do that quite a lot over there. That's something that I noticed. If you notice that as well, write it in the comment section. But literally, so some of the guys were like, oh, if you're local, we can't date you. I'm like, why? What does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? What does that mean? But I guess it's kind of like how a lot of people are scared of dating Nigerian men because of, you know, the things that they say about them. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is faith. So how moving to Sierra Leone has kind of changed my perspective when it comes to faith. I think going into Sierra Leone, I'm quite a spiritual person. I'm quite somebody who, I'm a Christian. I go to church, even though I come from a Muslim family and I was a Muslim at one point, and I converted into Christianity. I'm very much, my faith is very important to me, is the most important thing to me. And I've always been somebody who, you know, looks to God for every aspect of my life. But what was different about being in Sierra Leone, and how it really changed my, how it really changed how I experienced God and how I saw God as who he is, was just seeing his work. Like every time I would see a mountain, I'll go to a beach, or we would plant something and within weeks it started to grow. I would just be in complete awe of God. Like like I remember we will be sitting in a car driving, I'll be looking at the mountains and I'll just be like, God, you're amazing. God, you're so wonderful. Wow, wow. I'll just be adoring his creation, like just completely in awe, in a way which is strange because I've been to Dubai, I've been to European countries, I've traveled, I've seen beautiful things, but I think being in Sierra Leone, it was different, because if you've been there, you know what I mean. Like the whole structure of the country, sorry, is completely different to what you would ever see. The shape of the mountains, the white pure sand, you know what I mean? The delicious fruits, the nature. Like if you go to certain places in Suriname, I can't think of names right now because I'm trying to talk at the same time, but if you go to certain places in Sierra Leone, you just, when you're surrounded by nature, you're just like, it kind of gives you goosebumps. It kind of just humbles you. It reminds you how small we are. It reminds you, like, as human beings, we're just a small tiny speck in this universe. You know what I mean? We're so tiny. And when you go there, it just humbles you. It kind of reminds you that whether you believe in God or not, there is something there that is bigger than you. There's something there, and there's an order of things in this world that, even though us as human beings may destroy the world and create social classes and all these different things, ultimately, what God has created is beautiful. Whether you believe it's God, whether you believe it's a universe, whether you believe it's a big bang, this earth is just beautiful. So for me, going into Sierra Leone, I definitely saw how my faith with God was just, it just transcended to a different level. It made me just realize that God really is not man. Like, I can't even fathom his creation. I can't even, it definitely it humbled me. It really made me realize that I can create my own reality of this world as much as I want to, but what God has created can never be duplicated. It's just, it yeah. Sometimes, even if you don't believe in God, when you see Africa in itself, when you're surrounded by nature and all these things, it's just, it definitely does it for you. If you're somebody here, you have faith, and there's something here I've said that you feel like aligns with your perspective, definitely let me know in the comments if going into Africa made your faith increase in God, it may have lowered your faith, and so on. But also, another side I have to say, because I have to be honest, is there were times when I was in Sierra Leone that made me really also question God as well. There were times where I saw the level of poverty that I saw, seeing people really suffering, like suffering on, like, I'm trying to even think how I can even put it into words. Just sorry. I think with me, I always find it really difficult to talk about the poverty in Sierra Leone, because I think I'm still mentally coping with it. I'm still coping with some of the things I've seen, and I'll be really transparent to say that, yeah, I'm still, yeah, I'm definitely still unpacking. I'm definitely still unpacking some of the things I saw. Yeah. As Marilla Johnson said, Africa is where God is where God is. You can really see his work. You can really see his work on man life. Yes, you can. Yeah, Africa is where God is. You can see his work. Yes, definitely. Yes, it's beautiful. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Aisha says poverty is very bad in Sierra Leone. It's very bad. It's very, 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 very bad. And you know what it is? I've had so many people on here say to me, even sent me messages and just said, you don't really talk about that much, because I'll be honest with you, I'm still unpacking. I'm unpacking some of the things I saw. I am still trying to mentally prepare myself to ever have that conversation on here, which I will. But it's with all the beauty you saw me posting, I have content that show Sierra Leone for truly, that shows Sierra Leone in terms of the hardship and the things that are going on over there. And those content I will release when I'm ready. I just don't feel like now it's the right time, because I can't even talk about it without feeling emotional. So, and I think for me, if I'm ever gonna talk about something, I want to be emotionally prepared to talk about it. I want to make sure I give an honest opinion. I don't just speak from emotion and say anything I'm gonna regret. Do you know what I mean? But I've got some documentaries that I created in Sierra Leone that I will eventually release at the right time. So yeah, so there were times where, in terms of level of poverty that I saw, that it really made me also question God as well, because it made me think like, how can you watch people be in so much pain mentally, physically? How can you kind of watch all this stuff going on? But it also made me realize that it's human beings, like it's us human beings that are doing these things. It's not God that's doing it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I can't say, God, why, or why are you not doing something about it? Because God cannot step in without us asking us, you know. And also he gave us choice. Some of us chose to do evil without choice, some chose to do good, and it's just what it is sometimes. Ian says, when I first stepped out of the plane at Lungi, it was truly a spiritual feeling. It really, really, really is. It is. It really is. It's something you can't explain. Like you just have to be there. Like your soul kind of just feels like it's home. It's like, I'm home. Like it's like whatever load you were carrying, you kind of just put it down and you're home. And I think for so many diasporians who, I think the shift that we're seeing happening amongst Black people, Africans, is that we all are longing to go home. And the reason why we're longing to go home is because we want to we want to unpack, like, you know, we want to kind of let go of all the load we've been carrying. You know what I mean? We just want to go home. We just want to connect. We just want to be with ourselves. And for so many people, they always ask, how does it feel like be going home? It literally feels like you're going home. It literally feels like, and you really realize you've been living in a stranger's land when you go back home. It's like you realize, oh wow, I was just a guest in somebody's house and now I'm home. That's how I can describe going into Africa. Is, as much as I love the UK, you know, and as much as I've had good and really bad experiences here, this is not my home. And I say that for myself. If you, but how you see it, that's your opinion. But for me, I know this is not my home. My home is Sierra Leone. Do you know what I mean? And when I go home, I feel like I'm home. When I'm leaving, I feel like I'm coming to, when I'm leaving, I feel like I'm coming to somebody else's house and they allow me to stay there as a guest. That's how I can describe it. And Aisha says, no matter what, I still love Sierra Leone. Yes, I love Sierra Leone. And I think for what I like about Sierra Leone is we have so much resilience. Like we've gone through so much as a people, from the war to Ebola to the mudslides to the explosion. It feels like things just keep on happening and happening with us. But if you go to Sierra Leone, you would be shocked to know those people are not wearing their trauma. They are not wearing what they've been through. They are so happy. They are so peaceful. They are so giving. They're so loving. You think to yourself, wow, for people who've gone through a lot, you guys are really happy. And that's just what Salon is. And that's just Sierra Leoneans in general. I think regardless of anywhere in the world that we live as Sierra Leoneans, we are the people. We're just very welcome. We're just very homely. We just, you know, we like I said, we don't wear our pain. We don't, as a people, we don't wear what we've been through. you know we're very present. We kind of live in the presence. Yeah, I would say. Ian says exactly. Yes, thank you. Aisha Bangura says there is nowhere like home, and it's true. And I feel like that's the longing that a lot of diasporans are getting. They are now, even African Americans, all Africans who are spread out in the world. We are all feeling. It's almost like a spiritual thing. We're all feeling this longing to go home. Even those who don't know where their home is, those who are like African Americans who don't know which part of Africa they're from, all they know is they're just feeling this longing. They just want to go home, and they're trying to figure out how to go home. And if you're watching this and you're one of those people and you're not quite sure where in Africa you come from, Salone welcomes you. Come to Sierra Leone, because us as Africans, well, we were all one anyway. They just gave us different names and put us in different sections. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But Sierra Leone, definitely come to Sierra Leone. You're welcome. We will embrace you. We will love on you. We will teach you the culture. We will make you feel like you are home. Esmerella Johnson says Sierra Leone is beautiful. Yes, there is poverty, and I believe God is going to do something about it. Amen. I agree with that for his people. So let's keep the faith and hope going. Let's keep the faith and hope going back home. We are treated like a king. Yes, definitely. I really, really love what you just wrote. That is so uplifting. And I think that's the thing that separates us Sierra Leoneans. Is, like I said again, we do not wear our pain. We are always looking to the brighter side in life. We choose to see another day. We choose to see a brighter day. We choose to not allow what we've been through define who we are as a people. And I love that about our people. And when you go to Sierra Leone, you see that everywhere. You see that everywhere you go to. You know what I mean? Like, they're just, it's not perfect. No country is perfect. No nation is perfect. But when you're around people who are constantly choosing peace and happiness rather than complain about what they've been through, it makes a difference. It truly does. So really, thank you so much for sharing that. Something that I actually want to start doing is inviting people to come on lives with me. Because talking to a camera and eyes, like, it's just me in this room. So I definitely would say, if there's anybody on here and you would like to go live with me, you can. Or if you like to go live with me next time I'm live, then you can request. So I can literally add you to this live, and we can actually talk, and you can ask me questions or just share your story if that is something you want to do. But that is something I'm looking to do. So if you would like me to do that, where I do a live where it's just interactive, where I just invite people to come on to talk, get to know each other, ask questions, and I'll do that as well. Please come and let me know if you guys would like to do that, because it would really help. It would really help. Okay, so the next thing, so I've spoken about how my mindset was changed on health, my aspirations, culture, overall mindset, faith. And then the next stage is relationships. So relationships kinds of ties in with culture. However, let me just talk about in terms of, like, prior to going to Sierra Leone, and then now how I see relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about romantically and also platonically. So let's talk about platonically. So prior to going into Sierra Leone, I kind of just saw relationships, like platonic relationships, as in like male and a female or male and a male. Yeah, is that when I first came, I think I kind of had the European mindset, which is kind of like a fear. I have a fear of meeting new people, have a fear of making new friends. But also at the same time, I didn't know that it was important to, I didn't quite know it was important to be intentional about who you allow to be around you, and how it's not just anybody you should allow around you, and how other people's energy can actually affect you quite a lot. I think, I'm sorry guys, I didn't do my nails today. Sorry, you can see my nails, it's not done. But yeah, as I was saying, is that I didn't quite realize how energy is important, as in like, if you're around somebody who's always complaining, always nagging, always negative, how that actually affects you. I was kind of those type of people where I was just keeping the same people in my life just for the sake of keeping them, because they were there, oh, went to school together, or went to, oh, let's just keep you there. When really it's like, do you have a positive energy? You know, what are we bringing into this friendship? You know what I'm trying to say? And also differentiating the different types of relationships you have. You have some people where you just see each other, have fun, joke around, and that's what it is. Then you have the people you have more serious conversations with. These people give you advice. Maybe you might choose to be a bit more vulnerable and open up to these people about what you're going through and so on. So going into Sierra Leone, and I kind of just saw how, and I'll be honest, I used to think that there was a weakness in being too friendly because the way how the West was like. And then I went into Sierra Leone and saw how friendly everybody was. Like, when I say friendly, like, they will just see you and be like, oh, you're not my paddy now, meaning you're my friend now. Like, just like that. They don't even ask any questions. They don't want to know, oh, you're not my paddy. Or they'll ask you, I want for you be me paddy. Like, they'll just say to you, like, I want you to be my friend. They'll just meet you. You know what I'm trying to say? And when I was going into Sterling, I was thinking, you guys are too friendly. I don't like this. This is scary. You don't know who these people are, and you're being so friendly towards them. Why would you do that? Kind of a thing. That's kind of the mindset I had. But coming back, I realized that unless somebody has given you a reason to doubt them, why are you doubting people? Why are you assuming everybody is going to do bad things to you when they haven't given you a reason to think that? Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's kind of like, give people the benefit of the doubt, and also be my true authentic self at all times, and not to always be like, oh, I'm going to sit in the corner and just be quiet or just stay on my phone when I'm in a social setting, all in the name of, oh, I'm afraid of this person may do this to me. I don't know who they are, but I've just learned to just be loving and be embracive towards people if that's what they're being towards me. If somebody's coming around me and they want to be around me, just be embracive, just show love, you know, just don't be afraid to create connections. Because I really liked how in Sierra Leone, like, I never felt lonely because everybody didn't have their guard up. Do you know what I mean? Everybody was just like, I'm going to show you love, and I'm going to believe you're going to show me love because I'm showing you love. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's kind of like, why are you fearing negative when, and it kind of reminds me of sometimes what the Bible kind of says, there's power in the tongue. And also, like, some people may say what you think is what you manifest. So it's kind of like, if you're thinking everybody around you is going to do something bad to you, then it may just be. But just seeing when I was in Sierra Leone, how everybody was just like so embracive, they were so loving, they was just so friendly. And even though some of them had motives and some of them were really cunning, some of them were liars, some of them were trying to, were trying to con a little bit. Some of them weren't moving in love. But what I learned is that I shouldn't worry about what they're going to do. I should just stay focused on being true to myself and showing love at all given times. And if somebody gives me a reason to be fearful, then I'm going to step back and be like, okay, you're not for me, and just walk away. So I think that has kind of got me out of my shell. And even now that I've come back to the UK, I see that I'm socializing more with people. I'm going out a bit more because I tend to just be in my house quite a lot. But now I tend to go out more. When people invite me to things, I say yes. Even one of my friends was like, oh, wow, since you've been out, you've been going out quite a lot. And I'm like, yeah, you know? And they're like, oh, salon has changed you. And I'm like, yeah, it has, you know, because it has. It's just made me just want to be part of a community. Like, I want to be around as many people as I can be. But also at the same time, don't get it twisted. I am very protective of my energy. If I sense your energy is off, I am stepping away and you're not going to see me again. So I don't want to come here and talk and make it seem like I'm trying to be friends with everybody, because we all know that everybody's intention is pure. And then when it comes to like romantic relationships, I think I would say is going into Sierra Leone, I think I've just really learned that just let things be. Just let things be. I think the confidence of Salon women and Salon men is insane. They're so confident. A Salon man will literally just come up to you and say, "You, I marry you, bing," meaning you, I'm gonna marry you. Like, I want you. Like, they're so like in your face about what they want. And I think like being in there just made me realize, like, if you got the sauce, you know what I'm trying to say? If you know what you bring to the table, you don't need to worry about anything. Just let God and let God be, and just walk in your sauce, you know, sit in your table, enjoy the fruits of your table, and somebody is going to come and sit with you, and they're going to bring their own stuff to the table, and the table is going to get bigger, and you all are going to flourish, and that's just what it is. Okay, so if anybody would like to come live with me, just say I or write something, and I will invite you here. I'm not quite, hold on, is that how you do? You just click invite? I don't know how it works, but yeah, if anybody wants to, just let me know. But yes, so that's like most of the things I have on my list in terms of talking about how it's changed my mindset. If I was to do this in a more sit down setting, I know that this will be more thorough and a bit more intentional. But what's good about lives is you just talk, and I feel like it's a bit more raw. It's a bit more honest, because when you're doing sit down videos, you can edit the things you don't like. But doing these lives, I just really like it, and I kind of have a conversation with my subscribers. Like now, I know David now because he comes here quite a lot. You know, I know Ian because he comes here as well. And then I saw new faces today, which I believe was Esmerella and Aisha, or I'm not sure if Aisha was here last week. I have the worst memory, guys. Please forgive me. But yeah, definitely. If you guys have, I'm going to give 10 minutes before I close this live. If anyone has any questions or would like to go live with me, then please do let me know in the comment section. And if there's anything you learned when you went to Sierra Leone that you'd want to share, then please also go in the comment section as well and let me know. I'm just looking in my notes to see if there's anything I might have left out. I feel like I'm going to do this again, this exact topic, but I'm going to do it as a sit down video and do it like at least 6 to 7 minutes long, where it's really intentional, very focused on like 5 to, you know, keep it very short, 5 to 6 points in terms of what in terms of the things that really changed my mindset, because I feel like this is such a long video and I feel like there's quite a few things I might have missed out, I'll be honest with you. David McCrae says, hopefully we get to meet in Freetown one day. Listen, I want to meet every single one of you. Like, if I could meet every single one of you, I could. But definitely, I'm hoping to go back to Sierra Leone in April. If it's not April, then it might be July. If it's not July, then it's August. If it's not, then it's December. But I'm hoping to not wait all the way to December. I want to go as soon as possible. And when I'm in Sierra Leone, I will let everybody know and say if anybody wants to meet up with me for coffee, anything, meet up with me. Let's talk, let's chat, let's get to know each other. And yeah, that'll be really nice. I look forward to that, David. And anybody else who's thinking that as well. All right, so next week I'm going to be live again, 9 p.m. GMT, and I have special guests that are going to be joining me next week. So next week I'm going to be joined by a very popular family who are going to be joining me on live, and we are going to be talking about marriages. We're going to be talking about marriage. We're going to be talking about relationships, because I know how much you all like the live that me and Joe did when we talk about dating in Sierra Leone. So this time around, I have two beautiful married couple who are going to be joining me on live, and we're going to be talking about relationships and marriage in Sierra Leone. It's going to be deep. It's going to be thought-provoking. It's definitely going to shuffle some feathers. It might trigger some people. However, I think the conversation is so important, because I think so many of us, when we talk about development, one of the things we tend to miss out is family and relationships, and how these things can really impact who we become based on the structure of our families. And I saw so many things when I was in Sierra Leone in terms of how kids were being parented, in terms of how couples were communicating with each other. And I truly believe that how you're raised is a defining point of who you become and what type of person you become. And I'm really excited to have this couple join me next week, Sunday, to talk about relationships in Sierra Leone, and also to talk about how the family structure can be used as a form of development point, and how we can possibly change the way we deem family as Africans, and some of the hurts we've experienced in our family homes, and how we can learn from those things and actually grow. And because I think, okay, I know we're going to have the conversation next week, but just to touch upon it, just to give you guys a bit of a snippet, a bit of a snippet of what we're going to be talking about next week and why it was important to me. So, someone like myself, I've spent years working on myself. I believe in this whole self-love, taking time to yourself, finding yourself, unlearning things that we've been taught, healing from trauma, becoming the best versions of myself. For me, I believe those are the most important things you need to do as an adult in order to prepare you to be the best partner, the best mother, father, the best boss, the best colleague, and all that type of relationships and settings. I believe that those are the most important things to do. And I think that sometimes, and I'm really I'm really being careful of the words that I use, because I don't want to trigger anybody on here. But sometimes I really believe that some African homes, many of us have been raised in traumatic homes. And because of those experiences, it's kind of negatively impacted who we've become and how we make decisions and our confidence and so on. You know what I'm trying to say? As for an example, if you were raised in a home where you weren't taught to speak up, to have your own opinion, to stand, to, you may become an adult who you are afraid of taking the lead. You are afraid of making your own decisions. You are afraid of taking chances, because those things were kind of either beaten out of you or mentally you were abused. So you don't have the confidence to do those things. So the conversation we're going to be having next week, like I said, you know, is going to be a tough conversation. But I believe in the 29 years I've been in this world, I know I have a baby face and some of you doubt if I'm 29, but in the 29 years I've been in this world, I believe I am who I am because I was able to step out of myself, look at my upbringing, look at my community, look at my decision making, and realize that, okay, I need to work on myself so I can be the best version I can be for myself, and I can take control of my happiness, because nobody can make me happy but me, and it's nobody else's job to make me happy but me. And going into Africa and seeing how there are so many young people and even adults who lack so much confidence in making their decisions, they lack so much confidence in even reaching for the stars, simply because they were raised in homes that did not give them the tools to be like that. I believe that if many of us would take the leap of faith and just, you know, work on themselves and not continue the same patterns that they experience in their families and so on, that as Sierra Leoneans will be, we would advance way more. Because when we think about development, everybody talks about the economy, everybody talks about you know, agriculture and all these things, but what about our family? What about our mental health? What about the things that people have told us about us as Sierra Leoneans? How are these things impacting us? How does you being beaten, abused, and all these things like that as a child, how has that impacted us as Sierra Leoneans, our decision making, and how we see ourselves? So that's going to be the conversation for next week. And I know it sounds really tough. And like I said, it's going to be a tough one. But I just feel like it's going to be a great conversation. And I've got a great couple who are going to be joining us. And we're not just going to be talking about the issues, but also going to be sharing advice on how we can be better parents, how we can be better partners, how we can be better neighbors and community members and Sierra Leoneans and so on, and sharing really great tools for young couples, single people, and all these different things. So it's going to be a really great live, and it's going to be a live where you're going to come out of it maybe a bit shaken, maybe it will give you an opportunity to reflect on yourself. But the one thing you're going to get from the live next week is that you're not alone, regardless of what you've been through, and that it's really important to take time to work on yourself, as you know, as a country, as individuals, and also see relationships as a tool of development in Sierra Leone, and how we communicate with each other, how we talk to each other. Because let's be honest, we all know one of the things in Sierra Leone is we all love to cuss, mommy cuss. You know what I'm trying to say? When we embrace each other, all that cussing, all of that, you know. Anyway, again, let me not get into it too much. But like I said, the conversation, just to round up, is going to be filled with love. It's going to be filled with really good nuggets, really good tips, really good structure. We're going to have a great structure. It's going to be very interactive. You guys can ask all the questions you want to ask. So tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell your wives, tell your side chick. Why did I say side chick? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. You see? And I can't even edit this out. But yeah, tell everybody you know, next week, 9 p.m. GMT Sunday, which is oh, no, wait, it's not Sunday. I apologize. It's actually the 26th of February, which is Saturday. Sorry, let me just fix my top. Saturday, the 26th of February, 9 p.m. GMT. Meet me here on live, and I will be sharing the couple that'll be joining me on live next week. Come here, bring your popcorn, and let's unpack this. And if you're watching here, you're not already a subscriber, click on the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. share my videos if you love them. If you have any ideas in terms of topics or things I can talk about, definitely share them with me. Not on the 20, because I'll be going live on the 26th with the couple, and I'll be going live again on the 27th, which is a Sunday, because I go live every single Sunday. So I think for that Sunday, the 27th, I'll make it more interactive. So this is a chance I'll give for you guys to come live with me, and we'll just talk, have a conversation, and so on. So we can do that. All right. So unless you guys have any questions or anything like that, I think I'll be closing this live. Oh, there's some people I've wrote some stuff here. Regina says, I'm planning for April 2. Yes, I'm planning for April 2. Father God, please just make a way for April. Okay. April. And if I'm going to April as well, I really love to see you as well, Regina Renee. It would be really great to meet up. Esmerella says, I will be there in December. Yes, listen, this December is going to be apparently there was like 15,000 people that went to Sierra Leone this December. Is one of the highest amounts of people that's ever visited Sierra Leone, according to records. Please don't quote me. Go and do your own research to make sure that is correct. But yeah, if you are planning to go to Sierra Leone this December, you need to be there. It's going to be amazing. I've also been speaking to some of the people who do events, and wow, there's going to be some really good events going on in December. December 2022, you don't want to miss it. You better be in Sierra Leone. Regina Renee says, I need to explore Bo. I've never been to Bo. Guys, this is because a few people have said this, but they were like, oh, you haven't really been to the outskirts of Sierra Leone, and I haven't. Next time I go, my main focus of my channel is going to be going to the outskirts. So I really want to go to the village and experience how that is like, because I haven't done it. I haven't been to Bo. And the thing is, Bo apparently is so beautiful. Apparently it's more lively than Freetown. So I'm telling you, I really want to go there. I really, really want to go to Bo. So I'll definitely be doing that when I go. Ian says, it's been another great live. You are a natural presenter. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And if you're watching this and you need somebody to present anything for you, I'm available. Like, that's one of my goals in life. I love to be a presenter. I'd love to sit down on a show somewhere and ask people questions. I love it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for recognizing that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right now. Thank you all so much for joining this live. It's been really interactive. This one has been, because to be fair, this topic that I've done is one of those topics where you kind of move around and talk about different things. But I really enjoyed it. Thank you to David, Regina, Esmerella, Ian, and everybody else who has been here. It's been fantastic. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I'll see you guys, like I said, the next live will be the 26th of February, 9 p.m. GMT. That one, you don't want to miss it. It's Saturday. That's when I'll be having the couple join me to talk about relationships and family and so on in Africa. Then I'll be live again on Sunday for my regular live session, which is 9 p.m. GMT. So please, let me just write it here in the comment section. I have to write it real quickly. And I'm really close to the camera. Okay, I've written it there. All right. Because other people are going to watch this again. This is really good. Freetown woman said, oh, I missed it. Yes, it's the end of the live. But guess what? As soon as I end the live, it's going to be available for you to watch again. So you can go back and watch it and leave it on to play while you're doing the rest of your day. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. And to Freetown woman, I will be live on the 26th, Saturday, 26th of February, I'll be joined by a Salone couple. I'm going to announce who they are soon. So please check the community tab on my YouTube. And we'll be talking about family life in Africa in comparison to family life in the West, and how we can work towards improving our relationships and how that can be used as a tool of development in Sierra Leone. Okay, so again, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week. If you guys have any questions regarding anything I've said, please go to the comment section and write it there. If you guys have any ideas in terms of content that you guys want me to film, please let me know. And like I mentioned, every single week I'll be posting a video directly in Sierra Leone. I've got a camera crew in Sierra Leone who are creating content for me in Sierra Leone. This week I'm going to be posting a video which my cameraman did, which was they filmed the whole AFCON thing. So when the whole football thing was going on, sorry, I'm not really good at football, guys. When the whole AFCON African nation thing were going on, they were like interviewing people as it was going on. So that's one of the videos I'll be posting this week, and also posting 3 other videos and going live twice this week. So guys, please make sure you watch the videos, like them, comment on the videos, because it really helps with YouTube sharing it with other people. So when you write a comment, it really helps my videos, and also like them as well and watch them all the way to the end. Okay, I've spoken too much today now. Guys, thank you guys so much. Take care. I'm going now. Bye. Where is it?